was worried it was some weird pronunciation from.
You can imagine how my last name gets brutalized. Flotch.
This is live entertainment, everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, Christina is a celebrity makeup artist. She is Pretty Girl Makeup, right?
That's correct.
The one. She's also a sepsis awareness person. And welcome to the Jesse Lewis Show, because this is how pro I am.
Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
So we start everything off with a dumb question just to break the ice, Christina. So if you could be any animal in the world, what animal would you choose?
An indoor cat.
What?
An indoor cat.
An indoor cat.
Yeah, one that just sits on a pillow and just kind of gets tended to and petted all day long. Or a horse. So
what does that say about you?
I don't know. I guess I don't get tended or petted enough. Maybe that's what it is.
We're going to get off that topic right now. Holy cow. So, Christina, you are a celebrity makeup artist, but what I really want to talk about is the person underneath. You are the sepsis stuff. That's where we're going to start there, and then we're going to get to the other stuff, if that's okay. So the sepsis stuff, can you tell me why you're a sepsis? For those of you that don't know what sepsis is, Christina, can you explain what that is first and then explain why, if that's okay?
So sepsis is an infection of the blood, and it attacks all your vital organs. So it's a very aggressive and powerful disease. If it is detected early enough, it's absolutely treatable with an antibiotic. If it is not treated in a timely fashion, you will not survive. And it can happen in very short period of a few days, a few hours.
Okay. So, that makes sense. And why are you a big proponent of preventing this with people?
Well, I was married to Ken Flack. He was a professional tennis player in the 80s and 90s. He was #1 in the world with his partner, Rob Seguso. And he was my amazing husband and, a father of our children and, just my best friend in the entire world. And unfortunately, he got bronchitis, which turned into pneumonia. And we had called, our healthcare provider at the time was Kaiser Permanente in California. And their protocol is to call in to an advice nurse, and then they determine whether you see a doctor or they treat you over the phone. Unfortunately, for me and my family, they diagnosed Ken over the phone when he repeatedly said that he had yellow, orangey mucus coming out of him. He had the worst fever, never felt worse in his life. I was on the call with him when he made it, and the doctor, John Culbertson, decided to prescribe a cough medicine with codeine and an inhaler and no antibiotic. So we all think, I'm going to get cough medicine with codeine. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to wake up feeling great. Well, unfortunately, if you have an infection, growing in your body, cough medicine with codeine is a deadly drug. It will slow down your breathing to the point where the infection will grow like a wildfire, and it will be, you can potentially become septic like my husband did, and all your vital organs will shut down and you'll die. And that's what happened to my husband. So after he passed, the Sepsis Alliance asked if I would be willing to speak on behalf of raising awareness for sepsis and to honor Ken and his legacy. I felt that, my husband was such an amazing soul, and I don't want anyone else to lose their person over something that's completely treatable and preventable. So I decided to, share Ken's story and my story of showing the signs, because if people know the signs, they'll be able to get to a doctor and get an antibiotic. So the signs are, if your listeners go to sepsis.org, it's an amazing, informative website, and there's a little timetable there that says time. And T is for temperature. You can be either incredibly hot or cold. I is for some sort of an infection growing in your body. It could be a tooth, it could be a cut, or it could be like Ken had bronchitis or pneumonia. M is for mental decline. It's hard to kind of get them moving. It's starting to affect their mental state. And E is for excruciating pain. They feel like they're dying because you basically are dying.
Okay.
It's very painful.
Okay. I didn't mean to start off the whole interview with sadness and so serious. I really didn't mean to. But that story is something that should be told. And for the 2 viewers that we currently have, it's good for them to have. It goes out to more people later. But let's get on to something a lot more fun and a lot more inspirational in my eyes. I read your profile and all of a sudden I realized, this person's a great role model, or at least the persona that they put out there is a great role model, Christina. I read the Pretty Girl Makeup website, and the one of the things you say is every girl is a pretty girl, or along the lines of that.
Yes.
Now, for years and years and years, specifically in Hollywood and everywhere else, there was this very specific model aspect of what a person was supposed to look like. And I see pretty girls going not necessarily against that, but basically saying that everybody can be the person that they want to be, if that makes sense.
Well,
so kind of. Can you explain your whole mission with Pretty Girl Makeup, I suppose?
So I feel that, pretty on the inside is more important than pretty on the outside. And obviously I'm a makeup artist and I own a makeup company. So pretty on the outside is clearly important to me. I'm a very visual person. However, I do feel that one has a choice in how they conduct their life and how they decide to handle bumps in the road or obstacles or very sour lemons. I choose to, we've had a bunch of sour lemons right now dealing with this coronavirus and the shut-in. And I choose to make some kick-ass lemonade with these sour lemons. I feel that, we have a choice every morning to be happy or sad, depressed, or, doing something positive. And I think, for me, I lost my husband. I've had plenty of bumps. It looks like my life is perfect. I'm a celebrity makeup artist and I have great kids, and it's all this illusion, right? I wake up depressed and sad and feeling homely and fat and whatever, like everyone else. But I think of the things that I'm grateful for. I clearly wish I'd had 800 years being married to Ken and him being with me, but I'm going to just be grateful for the 8 years that I did have with Ken. I had lost my son, Bo, on Christmas Day 13 years ago. And so then I lost my mother 10 years prior to that, 20 years prior to that, actually. So I have dealt with my, share of grief. And so I have chosen, and it's so funny with these interviews, it was basically to raise awareness for sepsis and then, maybe talk about makeup or whatever. But I've learned that, people want to know how I handle grief. And I went to a grief camp at Canyon Ranch with one of my best friends, Eva Mann. And, they teach you how to manage grief. Grief isn't something you get over. It's something you learn to manage. Right. And so, I try to, so for me, raising awareness for sepsis, I started an educational foundation for my son, Bo, at the Northern Lights School, and one for Ken at the Northern Lights School. And I started a garden with my friend, Lisa Zimmer, at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley. And so education and nutrition are incredibly important to me. I want everyone to have an amazing education the way my children have been blessed with having. And nutrition, I feel that that's something when taught at a young age, and growing vegetables and picking them and experiencing all of that, you're going to be much more inclined to choosing to eat healthy the entire rest of your life. So I've chosen causes and things that mean a lot to me. And so what I urge people to do is, pick something that they're passionate about. I clearly don't want anyone else to lose their person. So sepsis for me is raising awareness of that. But I also thought, I was on a hike one day and I was, thinking about Ken and imagining, and I was talking to him, which I do sometimes. And I just thought, my gosh, how horrible would it be if I was the one looking down on him and I saw him just obliterated, shattered, his heart shattered, not being able to be the amazing person that he was, or so sad that he couldn't be the wonderful parent and friend and business person that he was. So I just thought, my God, and not being able to comfort, my people. So I just felt that I started looking at it from that perspective. I think the best way that I can honor him and make him feel better over there, since he's not here physically with me, is to do positive things with my life and try and touch other people to make them feel better. And being miserable and grieving at such a hard and such a devastating way isn't honoring your person at all. It's just, you're not living, you're just existing. And so I just feel that if people could look at grieving from that standpoint, be grateful, number one, for the amount of time you had with that person. Number two, imagine that they're watching over you and how painfully hard it would be for them to watching you just, laying there crying and miserable. And believe me, he sees a lot of that looking down on me, but I try really hard to make him proud and do good things with my life. I want to make the world a better place. Also I have to set a good example for my children, because I want them, of course, I would like them to be successful, but most importantly, I would like them to just be happy and love life and enjoy, the world. The world's a beautiful place if you open your eyes with those lenses.
Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense. I think this goes back to the whole idea that every girl is a pretty girl. It's what you're doing. I'll be honest, you are a very good-looking human being. However,
I hired myself today, I have to say. I was really late. I'm like, hire quick. I'll give you a good tip if you hurry up.
But my point into that isn't really the compliment that you expect it to be. Yes, physically you are a wonderful looking person, but the reason I have you on is actually because of the extra stuff that you're doing, the honoring of your husband, the honoring of your child, and that person that's deep inside, if that makes sense. And I think in today's day and age, we get really far away. We see the Hollywood, we see the glitz and glamour. We are watching screens all the time, and we're not connecting with real human beings. And sometimes we see somebody from far off and think, oh, they have a great life. Well, they may have a great life, but there's some turmoil underneath. And I think your story is really inspirational.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I also feel that, we choose the life we want to lead. I want to have, a positive life and a good life. And I think it's important to make that choice. I just don't see any other way of doing that. And it also helps me with my grieving to help other people. I read a quote once that said, when you're feeling sad or depressed, go help someone else. There's always someone worse off than you, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Right? And so I have had great tragedy and loss in my life, but I've also had amazing, beautiful miracles and fabulous, there's been moments, and longer than that moments, but of things in my life that are bad. But I've had, my children are extraordinary people. They're following their passions and what they love to do, and they're good people, and they're kind and thoughtful, and they're funny, and so that brings me joy. And being able to speak with you and being a makeup artist, I'm able to meet amazing people. I just did a TV show for Fox in LA with Isaiah Washington. I shot Time Magazine with Condoleezza Rice. I mean, I've worked with Gucci, Louis Vuitton. I've marketing. I've worked with amazing companies and met fabulous people, and so that brings great joy into my life, doing what I love to do, which is being a makeup artist and being a CEO of my company. It does bring me a lot of joy and happiness.
So speaking of all that, we're almost at the end of the interview.
Okay.
And of course, we're going to let you plug yourself. Can you? I did put it in the description. Well, can you just where people can find you if they want more information on your business, on the sepsis stuff? Where can people get a hold of you?
Well, if you'd like to find out more information on sepsis, and what I would love is just for people to have some organic dialogue, like do you know what the signs of sepsis are? And if you do, like, what would you do if you think you have them? You know, go get a blood test and find out. You can go to sepsis.org to find out more information on the signs of sepsis. If you want to look at my portfolio, you can go to ChristinaFlack.com. If you would like to buy some lip gloss or hand sanitizer, you can go to PrettyGirlMakeup.com. And we're on Instagram and obviously Facebook. Instagram is Pretty Girl MKUP and Christina Flack Makeup.
That's fantastic. Christina, the last question I always end off with is something really simple, other than the interview, which, let's be honest, this has been fantastic. No, I'm just kidding.
Bye.
Other than the interview, what's one thing you've done for yourself today to make yourself happy? Not anybody else, you.
That's a good question. What did I do? I did 10 minutes of yoga, made a green juice, and meditated for 10 minutes too. Just to...
That stopping for 10 minutes helps. It's amazing, right? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Christina Flack, thank you for coming on. All 3 people that watched. And no, don't worry, we'll go for more than that. Please follow her on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, all the social media. And if you like the show, please subscribe to the Jesse Lewis Show. Follow all that. You know how it works, everybody. Just follow and share this. Get it out there into the world and help Christina out. Help me out. Thanks, Christina.
Thank
you. The
ritual
as we end is this. We do this as I hit the button. So bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.